Jose Rizal. A household name. Every Filipino has heard his story. He is our national hero who fought with his writings and died for his country. He has shown what it is to be a Filipino. But did his message really reach the people? He was not only writing for the people of his time, he was writing for the future generation of Filipinos. So I have asked a few students of Mapua University what is it that they have realized and learned through Rizal.
This is my integration in Rizal's life. The life of Jose Rizal was incredibly inspiring. The story of a very intelligent and talented Filipino who was willing to devote his entire life to bringing freedom and peace to his family and country. Not just any ordinary Filipino tale. Even if I don't know everything about Rizal, the knowledge I acquired during this semester is enough for me to say to myself and other Filipinos and even complete strangers that he deserves to be recognized for who he is today. According to what I can gather from Jose Rizal, a number of things were critical to his success in life. Examples of these include God and family. The God is the primary person who may determine our success. Just as Rizal feared God and was incredibly gifted with material and spiritual blessings. That is skill, compassion, intelligence, and kindness. Since Rizal was lucky to have family who could help him achieve his true objectives, the family plays an important role as well. One of a person's personality's foundation is their family. In addition, Rizal demonstrates love for the Philippines as a way of loving his fellow Filipinos by helping them win justice from the Spaniards. Rizal was able to inspire change and peace because he possessed a heart that serves the God. In order to make positive changes, it follows that the Filipino people as a whole must also possess a good conscience and God-fearing heart, like Rizal. To Rizal, who has served as an inspiration to me, and to our instructor, who has shared and explained all of this knowledge so that we may fully appreciate it, I would want to acknowledge their efforts. One of Rizal's poems was previously written as a dedication to the country's youth. Today, it appears that young people in the Philippines will not live up to what Rizal envisioned for them. Rizal wants to instill in our younger generations and aspiring leaders the sense that they symbolize the nation's hope for the future. Despite the fact that they fall short of Jose Rizal's ideal of a young person, the youth of now and tomorrow remain the cherished nation's hope. That's all.
Jose Rizal's life was very inspirational, not just any average Filipino narrative, but the story of a very clever and brilliant Filipino, willing to spend his entire life bringing freedom and peace to his family and nation. I may not know entirely about Rizal, but the lessons and information I gained during a semester are sufficient to declare to myself, other Filipinos, and even strangers that he deserved to be acknowledged for what he is today, and that is Filipino national hero. His life was truly superb and colorful because the hero's experiences shaped him into what God intended to do to him. To my understanding, Jose Rizal informs me of the importance of several factors in his life achievement. God, family, country, and self are all examples of this. First, the Lord is the essential person who may decide our prosperity, just as Rizal feared God and was blessed abundantly with monetary goods and spiritual ones. That is wisdom, talent, love, and compassion. The role of the family is also crucial. as Rizal was fortunate with a family that could guide him to his actual goals. Family is one of the pillars of a person's personality. Furthermore, Rizal presents the love for our nation as a method of loving his fellow Filipino, aiding them in gaining justice from the wicked and corrupt priests and Spaniards. Last but not the least is self. Rizal's life has taught me that you should make the most of yourself. He cultivates learning and knowledge to employ them for God's purposes. He did not tell to himself that he was not valuable enough, nor did he live in denial about what was happening around him. Rizal also demonstrated that the pen is mightier than sword. His writing skills helped him persuade his whole community to seek justice, therefore dismantling an empire. Words fly everywhere and excites every man's emotion. And as the proverb goes, the written word is strong, and it contains both good and bad connotations. It has the potential to both cure and damage, much like a double-edged blade. Rizal had a God-fearing heart, which allowed him to spark change and peace, implying that we Filipinos should have a decent conscience and a God-fearing heart to enforce the beneficial changes. Thank you to Rizal for inspiring me and our professor for imparting and explaining all of this information to us that we may better grasp it. Rizal once dedicated a poem to Filipino youths, not just those of his generation, nor the generation after them, but all Filipino youths of the past, present, and future. Rizal wants to remind our youth and future leaders that they are the fatherland's future. Unfortunately, Filipino youth now appear to fall short of what Rizal envisioned. Regardless, today's young people are still the fatherland's future, if not the ideal youths for whom Rizal hoped.
So I'll be continuing our integration with the life of Dr. Jose Rizal, and me and my groupmates are going to discuss it to you. So the events that transpired throughout Jose Rizal's life made for a very motivational read, not only as an everyday account of a Filipino, but rather as an account of an exceptionally bright and gifted Filipino who is willing to give up his own life in order to provide liberty and freedom to one of his family. And even though it isn't all about him, the things I've learned and the informations that I gain are sufficient to convince me, as well as other Filipinos, especially my classmates, that he ought to be successful as he is today. To further clarify, this is the national and he is national revered figure in our Filipino culture, and his life was extremely remarkable and full of vivid adventures, which made him a hero and shaped him according to what God intends to accomplish to him. In order for me to get my own insights, Dr. Jose Rizal explains to me the significance of particular things and how crucial they are to the achievement of his life. This includes one's devotion to God, family, country, and personally itself, or oneself. Without God, he would not have been able to get that far. The Lord is the most significant factor that will decide our level of success. Just as Rizal revered God, and as a result, he was showered with the abundance of blessings, not only in terms of worldly possession, but also on a spiritual level that encompasses affection and consideration and expertise. Rizal was fortunate enough to have a family that was able to direct him in the direction of his true goals. And as the family's function is the second most important thing, or the second most significant thing, even in this day and age. So one of the most also important pillars of our personality traits of a person is that the country's genre is the depiction of love of the love from one's nation as a means of nurturing his fellow Filipinos, thereby assisting them in obtaining justice from the wicked and corrupt priests, as well as the Spaniards who really are tormenting them in their own land. And for that reason, that God has established us to enlarge our assistance with our associate as a symbol of romanticizing ourselves. Him, and last there is self, which is the most important thing that you can do is to make yourself productive. As Rizal's life taught he also taught me that he trained himself to gain understanding and information so that he may put it to work for God's plan and for the country. He didn't have the attitude that he was not valuable enough and chose to spend his life in oblivious to what was going on his surrounding. As a result of he is aware of the fact that he is a God's child. In addition, Rizal demonstrated that the written word might carry more weight than a physical weapon, which is actually true. Because of his ability in writing, he is able to persuade all of his fellow citizens to pursue justice, which ultimately results in the downfall of an empire. Because speech travels everywhere. It goes and steers the emotion of every individual. There are both good and bad aspects to the word, but much as there is a proverb that states the word is strong, it has the potential to mend broken hearts, yet it also damage another person's. It's also like similar to how a blade has two sides. Rizal had a God-fearing heart, which is why he is able to spark change and peace. This indicates that we as a Filipino, should also have a decent conscience and a God-fearing heart in order to enact beneficial changes. And I would want to express my gratitude to Rizal for being such an inspiration to me, as well as to our instructor who shares and explains all of these informations that we may have a better understanding of it. Also, in addition, Rizal once devoted one literary poems to the young of the Philippines, which is up until now is still ongoing. He didn't just mean the kids of his day or the generation that came after them. What he meant was the youth of every generation of Filipinos from the past to the present and into the future. Rizal wishes to impress into our younger generation and upcoming leaders. And the idea that they represent the nation's hope is for our future. And these days, it seems that young people in the Philippines are not going to live up towards what Rizal envisioned for them. In spite of this, the youths of now and tomorrow are still the hope of our beloved country. And despite the fact that that they are not the perfect youths that Jose Rizal had planned and expecting. So that's it for my integration. We'll proceed with our next member. Thank you.
One could be referred to as a martyr if someone makes positive contributions to our community or nation, like Jose Rizal did whenever he demonstrated that perhaps the pen is considerably more powerful than the weapon by fighting the Spaniards, without using force. Even though Rizal's writing did not exert an incredible influence, it had a far longer lasting influence that has continued to be felt by Filipinos today. Nevertheless, Jose Rizal rose to fame as the heroic figure of the Philippines as a result of his effective though covert battle for independence. Today's youth may learn from Rizal since he demonstrated greater than a couple of centuries ago that maybe if and when these young Filipinos simply concentrate on their aspirations and genuinely study diligently after things, a thirst for knowledge as well as passion for successes, though under very tough conditions, are feasible. There are several things that we may take away from Rizal. He inspires me to think that there is constant hope because of his courage and devotion towards his nation. Without aspiration, one cannot think in themselves. Hope is an extremely crucial part of our lives. Self-confidence is what makes each of us feel as though there is still possibility. Numerous people have questioned Dr. Rosario's status as a great leader throughout history and even now. Some others stated that because they perished participating in battle, heroes in our nation could possibly be declared. Furthermore, he was active battling the Spaniards at a certain time through the publication of writings and opinion pieces. His whole body of work focused on the way Spain ruled our nation. His thoughts help us Filipinos understand that this is our nation and that we are entitled to our right to liberation. At such time, there were several revolutions and numerous of our people lost their lives in the struggle. However, nothing else can prevent us from achieving the independence we sought. They never feel discouraged, even although they are certain that they will die. These are the things that Rizal taught me in life. Hopes help me to rediscover the inner power I possess. Don't ever give up, and really do not give up and just never lose faith if you really desire anything in your career. Although if you feel depressed on occasion, one of the secrets to life accomplishment would be that.
What I learned from Rizal is that hard work and determination to achieve your goal will make you keep going even though you face hardships along the way, and never forget to look back from where you started. I apply these virtues as a motivation to be a successful engineer and repay all the sacrifices and efforts of my parents. Although there are a lot of things that I still lack as a son and also a student, in which I face the reality of being an adult as time goes by. Things may don't go as you think they would, and there will be times when you doubt yourself for the skill that you lack. College is a tough barrier to overcome in life. With that being said, a lot of factors can be accounted for in the life of a college student, from idolizing different people, persevering to become better, and to enjoy life as it is. That's why from a hero like Jose Rizal, we can easily relate to a lot of his life's work, and this life itself from our everyday lives and maybe even impact it. Some of the lessons I've gotten from Rizal list from his acts of selflessness, love for his country, determination in his goal, and using your time to the fullest. The lessons that I've learned from him surely impacted my life as an individual because one, his act of selflessness showed me that life isn't always about you, but also isn't always about others. Life is about setting goals in life and to always continuously improve yourself even if some things seem impossible to improve upon. Rizal never gave up on Filipinos. He even called the younger generation, ang kabataan ay ang pag-asa ng bayan. So why should we simply give up on obstacles that are clearly present to attest our skills and abilities in handling pressure and determination amongst ourselves? That is why from all the lessons and pieces Rizal has left for us, we must simply preserve these things for future generations to come and continuously to effortlessly deliver the lessons he has brought to us to the next hopeful generation that is upon us. May it be impacting our lives academically, personally, or even for our country. Let us value the simple things that makes life fun as it is and what makes Filipino be Filipinos in their own hospitable ways. So from a young adult like me to the next, this is me saying, don't lose hope in life or in us. Be an inspiration and a guiding light for those who need a spark of love and hope.
His work and legacy will forever transcend through the ages and will continue to hold its value through many generations of Filipinos. We need to stop looking for Rizal among the people. We do not need to have a new Rizal for our country to flourish. Rizal is in each and every one of us. We only need to look deep into ourselves and we will find the Rizal that we are looking for.